I've got a radical plan to fix the cross-channel migrant crisis. Let's scrap the Home Office and replace those civil servants with criminal Albanian people smuggling gangs. Hear me out on this one. You might have heard this week that Albanian gangs are smuggling foreign criminals out of Britain and charging them as much as £17,500 to do it. Once the people traffickers have made the journey across from France with their boat laden with migrants, they're then loading the boat up with foreign criminals who've committed crimes in the UK and want to avoid the UK's justice system. Despite apparently seeking asylum in the UK, these criminals decide that their home country is safe enough once they've murdered a rival gangster or sexually assaulted a teenager. Frankly, I didn't want these criminals in the UK in the first place, but the Home Office and the rest of the woke establishment blob do everything they can to stymie Rishi's attempts to stop them. An undercover investigation by the Daily Mail showed how immigration lawyers coach cross-channel migrants to exploit our generous asylum system. They're told all the things to say and do to be recognised as a refugee and get a new life in the UK at the taxpayer's expense. They're told to destroy their passports so that they can claim to come from a war-torn area. We've all seen videos of young men on the boats ripping up their identification papers and gleefully throwing them into the sea. They're told to pretend to be younger than they are. They're told to pretend to be gay or Christian so that they can't be sent back, as they'll be persecuted. They're shown how to fake mental health conditions. They're told to pretend to be the victim of human traffickers instead of people who've paid human traffickers. It's a cynical abuse of Britain's asylum system, our noble effort offering help to persecuted people who genuinely need it. The sad thing is, those genuinely in need of asylum are the ones at the back of the queue. They can't afford to pay the thousands of pounds people traffickers ask for to cross the channel. They're the women and children in war zones and refugee camps. And our overseas aid budget is diverted from helping people in the third world to paying for swanky hotels for cross-channel migrants. And worse, this exploitation of our asylum system leads to tragedy here, as in the case of the Liverpool maternity bomber, who was here as an asylum seeker pretending he was a Christian. Fortunately, his bomb detonated in the taxi instead of on the maternity ward, but allowing uncontrolled immigration of fighting-age men from failed states with violent medieval ideologies is obviously going to lead to such atrocities. It's imperative that we stop the flow of cross-channel migrants, not just for the sake of Britain, but for the sake of people in other countries who are genuinely persecuted and genuinely need to claim asylum. But Rishi's plans to deal with illegal immigration are being stymied by the woke blob that controls the establishment. NGOs, human rights lawyers, unions, European courts, the mainstream media, all fighting to keep the boats coming across the channel. And the worst offender is the Home Office, unelected and unaccountable and packed full of Kearse cronies. They're supposed to enact the will of our elected government. Instead, they're doing everything they can to block it. It's anti-democratic and terrible for Britain. Frankly, the only people doing anything to reduce the numbers of foreign criminals on our shores are the people traffickers smuggling the criminals out. So let's let them run the Home Office. By charging up to £17,500 for each criminal they smuggle out, this could bring in some much-needed revenue to the nation's coffers to pay for the migrants who aren't leaving. And because they're making full use of the return journey, it's also going to help Britain hit its net zero obligations. What's not to love about this plan?